Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is your boy T Drake, and you are live with the RBA Round Ball Academy podcast. And as you can see, I am loaded with guests tonight. And I am so excited about tonight's podcast as we get ready to lunch off, or we already have lunched off into the month of July, but getting ready for a wonderful weekend is going to start off the recruiting period. And I got some heavy hitters with me tonight, and I want to welcome them to the RBA podcast. And let me start off with Tanisha Benson. Tanisha, tell our audience, how are you doing? What's going on with you? And tell them who you are.
I am doing very well. Tanisha Benson, national evaluator. Get a chance to see these beautiful, talented young ladies play across the country, and excited for July.
Excited for July, yeah. And for the first time on the RBA podcast, I got my man KP in the building. KP, talk to us, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell the audience about who you are and what's going on with you.
First of all, I want to apologize because I'm in my car, but I am on vacation, and I don't do this for everybody, but when Kim Powell calls me,
say it.
Yeah, I say, all right, I'll take some time. So, again, KP, Kenneth Pennell, I'm a national scout for a bunch of people, ESPN, McDonald's, USA Basketball, Naismith, and I do some stuff with the NBA and the junior NBA and the WNBA.
A heavy hitter in the house. KP, thank you for joining your first time on the RBA podcast. Not your last, but we definitely thank you for joining in with us on tonight. And none other than Kimberly Davis Powell, the greatest.
The greatest.
The greatest. The GOAT. And we all bow down to the GOAT.
Absolutely.
How you doing tonight, Kim?
I'm tired, boss.
I know you are. I know you are. I know you are. And you still have a couple of more hours to go.
Right. I chilled a little bit today, but I'm doing well. That
is good.
I'm honored to be on here to get a little bit more insight on rankings. Although I do sit on the McDonald's All-American Committee, I always mess with them like, hey, give me the top 100, top 150, then I can figure it out. But sifting through all of these young ladies and what they can and cannot do is so difficult as far as ranking them. So I try to turn my back to it and be like, let's just get better. So just to get some insight and hear what they have to say, because I always take it back to help my kids get better.
I got you. So KP, we're going to jump right into this, man.
Uh-oh.
Tell us what goes into this word that many people call an ugly word that so many people are chasing when it comes to rankings. Talk to us about it. What goes into it? How is it decided? Is it legit? What's going on, man?
No, it's very legit. First of all, I will say being on ESPN, number one, is an honor for me. I never thought I'd be in this position, and being a man of color, being on it, I think I'm the first person of color to be on ESPN on the women's side is an honor to me, and I don't take it lightly. My counterparts are very good at what they do, and I think I'm very good at what I do. So when you ask me what goes into it, it's a lot that goes into it. I mean, the number one thing is you got to be able to hustle. So, for instance, in the next week, I'll be in Louisville, Ohio, and Indiana. And that's kind of visiting all the circuits and trying to see as many kids as I can. Number two, what goes into it is, performance. And that performance doesn't always mean how many points you score. It doesn't mean how many rebounds you got. Me personally, I kind of do it two ways. I do look at upside and what they're projected to be, but I also look at the numbers. Let me see what the numbers are, what they look like. Let me compare what my eyes see to what their numbers are. So that can be time consuming. And what I want everybody to understand is I don't get a check for that. I don't get a check for ESPN. None of us do. None of us get a check for doing ESPN. I guess it's part of the prestige. We do get some benefits for being on it, but, a lot of it is done through our budget, through our individual, companies that provide the travel for us. But, people sometimes get so upset. Well, you don't come to this or you don't come to that. And it's hard to say that to me because I go to every damn thing. These people will tell you it's not one event that I don't try to touch.
That's right.
And it's not, one person that, I'll tell them the truth. And here's something that I think is misleading. If somebody tells me to come see the kid, I'll come see the kid and I'll give you my honest evaluation. But sometimes people don't want to know the truth. What's the truth? And that's not off of one game. I at least try to watch 2 games, because one game you could be off. But second game you can be on. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean scoring. So, some of the things that I look at in particular is, can you read a ball screen? That's offensively and defensively. Are you doing the little things like boxing out? Are you talking on the court? Are you a leader on the court? How do you help your teammates get better? How do you help your coaches get better? What are you listening to? Are you listening to the coach, or are you listening to your parents in the crowd? A lot of things go into doing an actual evaluation. So, I don't want people to think that every time I show up at their game, they got to score 40, because sometimes that 40 points is because that other kid is helping you get that 40 points. And sometimes people don't look at that. They don't look at that hustle from that other kid, that screen that kid set and move the right way. They don't look at those things. They look at, oh, my kid scored 30, so they should be ranked. No, that's not the case in my book. Now, my counterparts, they may do it a little bit differently. However, we do come together as a unit and determine a lot of things. Now, one of us has, the ultimate say when it comes to it. But if you kind of look at the history of the rankings, because I'm on the East Coast and, my counterparts are down south, I think it's been spread a little bit better just because we have more eyes in different places. And for me, I don't want to be where they are. I don't want somebody to tell me who the kid is. Let me go to the game and see for myself. I know what a kid look like when they can play. Now, again, if you tell me, hey, go check this kid out, I'm happy to do that. But sometimes people just don't want to hear the truth. They want you to, tell them, no, your kid is the greatest. But, I did hear a quote one time that if you follow an ugly kid home, you're going to find an ugly parent. So,
where you got that from, Coach? Where you got that from, Mr. KP? Where you got that from, Mr. KP?
That's a quote I've acquired.
Was it from this podcast? I don't know who could have said
that. I wonder.
And from that, sometimes the parents want it more than the kids.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm the most loved person, and I'm the most hated person when it comes to this. But through that, I probably have the best relationships in the country. And through that, a lot of these kids I've seen since the 5th and 6th grade, which a lot of people can't say.
Right.
I've seen these kids young, and I watched their progression. So I know if they want it or not. Now, am I perfect? Do I get everything right? No. Do we get everything right as a unit, as an ESPN unit? No, I don't think so. But, I want somebody to say, let me do as much work as I personally do. And I think that's a struggle. I don't think a lot of people can say that. And I'll be honest, I just put out a 36-page report to about 250 college coaches of kids that are high major, low major, Division II, mid-major, JUCO. And I put another one out that just said all the young kids. And on my young kids, I had 2028, I had 175 kids. So that tells you I really get in and do the work. Yeah. Everybody, I don't think, can say that. I don't know how many people actually can go out and do the work. But I love what I do too. I love this shit. I'm in the gym. I get paid for being in the gym. Yeah. So I'm not mad at that at all.
So we in a society and a culture where rankings are being chased. They're chasing the rankings. They're chasing the offers. And Kim, we talked about this on the last podcast, which KP kind of talked about that famous quote that has went viral. But several things I'm asking you as we enter into this July period, Kim, because a lot of you mentioned that before, that a lot of your players you don't even talk to them about the offers. I know you really don't talk to them about the rankings, but what's your mindset as far as the rankings and the offers as we move into the July live period?
Well, I'm gonna take it back a little bit. Like initially, and maybe it was just me, I've never been into rankings because I've known that they're always somebody's opinion. And it's okay. And we always say that person's perception is their reality, and that's fine. So I like to take but I want some substance behind the rankings. So, I've come up under the infamous Basketball Bob. And he's been great. And I used to subscribe to his stuff because he used to talk about my players so bad, just so bad. And I would take them, and we're talking like 25 years ago. And I'll be like, okay, they can't do this. Oh, they don't know how to do that. Bet I'm going to work on it. So I appreciated him at least explaining what they were good at and what they were not good at. And literally probably about 10 years after that, he was like, you're one of the very few programs that when I see your kid from the first time I see him to a year or two later, they've actually gotten better. And I told him, I said, that's because of your report. Because I would use that. I have an issue when they're ranking kids and they don't have any substance as to what they're missing or what they're really good at. I have that issue because it's like, okay, what are we trying to train? KP and I talked about it today. Are we basing it on what they're producing now, on the circuit that they're playing on now? Or are we basing it on potential? I'm good either way. And he gave me an excellent answer. If he wants to say it, I'll let him say it. But it helped me to understand again, like, okay, it's still opinionated, but some of it is potential. Some of it is, when a kid is going to tap out, So I try to get the parents and the kids to not focus on the rankings because no matter what, it messes with your program, period. It looks good when you're posting it out everywhere and all of that, but it really messes with it. Like I have a kid now. I've got 3 forwards that are great in the program. They're absolutely awesome. 2 of them are ranked in the top 100. I think they're a little low, but I don't get mad and be like, "What you doing ranking my kids so low?" I'm like, "Well, we'll just show and prove them all that they're crazy, but you got to produce. Like I'm not gonna be talking all this junk if you don't produce." But the one that produces more than both of them is not ranked. Wow. And so I use that today as motivation. At practice this past weekend and said, hey, let's go and show them why we should have all 3 of you all ranked. They don't know what they're watching. They don't know what they're looking at. And you should be ranked too. So I use it more as motivation to what are they doing wrong? Because I genuinely want to help them get better. We do it because social media is an uphill battle and it looks good. And I know I have great players, you know what I mean? But I definitely don't harp on it. I've called a scout one time, and it wasn't to fuss and cuss. And they dropped one of my kids from 30 to 60. And this was his explanation. And I just wanted to know why. He said, well, Kim, at the end of the day, she's going to be back in the top 30 when it's all said and done. Then why did you drop her? Why you got this mama panicking on my phone? Why you got this kid feeling like she done messed up?
That part.
You don't have it. Like if you could have said, well, Kim, she's not hitting shots as she's getting older. She doesn't rebound. You didn't give me nothing I could go back in the gym to work on. So those are the things that I'm just like, I don't really get it. I never have, never will. I'll ask, and KP, I've called and asked, I really don't care where you rank her, but just give me your thought process. Because at the end of the day, these, no offense to the evaluators on here, they're not responsible for helping them sign that scholarship and getting paid at school. This is just for a great conversation, in my opinion. And that's just how I look at it and feel.
Tanisha?
Yeah, I agree. I think, I get a chance to be in both worlds as a director as well as on the evaluation side. And I think the dangerous part, what Kim is talking about rankings, is it becomes a kid's identity. And when it becomes identity, that becomes very dangerous. Like, we're not identifying that her performance is number 1 in the country. She's taking that as, well, I'm number 32 and I'm this and I'm that. I'm not good enough. I'm not that. And let's be honest, for some of the rankings, depending on that number, it can cost you. I've seen kids that were top 5, 10 and drop to like 82. And the offers look real questionable at that point. So an opinion that becomes an identity for a kid, and you, like Kim talked about, not having the substance of what's going on or why that ranking is, you know, a number is supposed to identify exactly in a standardized way, what does that mean? And that's not really the criteria that we have or that we're using, and it makes it hard for kids to understand that. Now, on the opposite side, for the evaluators, I don't think parents and kids understand the type of training and hours of experience that evaluators have to be really good. You have to spend a lot of time on this. It's a craft. It's like being an official. Like when they get, you know, judged and critiqued and assessed for how well they're able to see fouls and just different things, we're seeing things from different angles often. And it's not just, oh, we're just going to look at the offensive side. No, we've got to look at 10 players in a game at the same time, looking at them offense, defense, decision-making, nonverbals. I mean, all of it all at once. And then let's times it by, I don't know, Kim, how many courts did you have at your event? Good Lord, right? All these different courts at the same time to be able to get it right. And so you're talking about hours upon days, upon weeks, months, years to be able to do it right. So I'd have to say, to even support ESPN in their rankings, they are looking at it from quite a bit of a big sample size, a long period of time. It's not just one game. It is over a period of time. And so I think that kind of, you know, I don't think people understand the amount of hours and training it takes to really be good at it and have a sharp eye, even after doing it for so long, because it can get dull. Like I went to men's this year just to sharpen my eye, because I was just like, okay, this is getting like KP. Once you see him since 6th grade, you didn't see him. So now you got to sharpen the eye to get it quicker, to make sure you're looking at it from a microscopic level to get it right.
So let me just say this to the RBA audience tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Got a real serious question or topic that we're dealing with in regards to this what we call the rankings. And as we get ready to move into the live period, offers rankings, a conversation that you're hearing a lot in the stands. In the parent, while they're the parents, the coaches, and different things like that. So if you have any questions for our guests tonight, go ahead and drop them in the chat. We'd love to be able to hear from you tonight. Shout out to Michael Clay Brooks, Team Mookie up there in Nashville, who's joining us tonight. He said, "What's up? What's good, family?" So just want to, Kim, I saw you shake your forms your mouth as you was about to say something while Tanisha was talking. Were you about to jump back in?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, you know, when they say, you know, it affects their offer. So that's my issue with the rankings. Is like, so was that kid really a top 30 kid to start with?
KP?
It depends on the year. So let's say young, they could be very, very good. Just for instance, let's say the kids in 27 class that's top 25 now. They might not be that by the time they're seniors. And now here's the thing that's going to be very controversial. Some of these college coaches are lazy as shit.
Yeah.
So they're going to go and look at the rankings and then identify kids from that, which is not fair to guys like me.
Nope.
You know, all right, this is what I've seen from this kid now. That kid can get that top 25 ranking and then be done with it. I'm cool now. I don't got to work no more. But guess what? I'm going to go watch you again and I'm going to see it. And I'm going to go watch you again and I'm going to see it. And then all of a sudden, that offer that you got when you were young has turned from a high major offer to a low major offer.
Yes.
So the biggest issue, and I don't know if it's an issue, is, you know, the new wave of social media, and because I'm ranked, I'm better than you.
Yes.
It's bullshit.
It sure is.
It's bullshit. It's a job that I have to do, and I honor the job. But you know what I do more than anything is I help kids get to college. Those
Yeah.
same kids who have been ranked and all of a sudden they fell off. Guess who's their parents call?
That's true.
KP, I need your help.
That is true.
Can you connect me with X, Y, and Z? Can you do
think
this and
they
this
just
and this?
stop working?
A lot of them stop working. A lot of them just have peaked early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me jump, Tanisha. I see you coming in because I was on a phone call on the boys' side with my guy from ESPN today, and we were talking about Justin Edwards, the Kentucky on the men's side. The first top 3 recruit to go undrafted in at least 20 years. KP, if you're familiar with it, Tanisha, Kim.
Yeah, I know Justin.
What happened? Because did he stop getting better, or was it just not the right situation at Kentucky? What was his circle giving him wrong information? What you say about it, KP?
I think it's a couple of fold. When you start dangling NIL money, you're going to go where the most money is. It is what it is, whether it's the right situation or not. I don't know if that was the right situation for him or not because I was not in his circle. I know the kid. I know the people in his circle. But once you start dangling, you can make X, Y, and Z now, then sometimes you're going to go to that school instead of going to maybe another school that would have, showed your talents a little bit more. You could have did a little bit more. So sometimes it's your circle, it's social media, and now NIL is involved. You're going to go get that money. And I'm never going to tell a kid, don't go get the money. But do you want long-term money, especially on the boy side, or this short-term money?
Right.
All right. And let's talk about the girl side. There's no big money on the girl side. Now, they are starting to get a little bit more money, but I always tell the kids, you can't always look at the name on the shirt. You got to go somewhere where you want it, number one, and where you're going to play and have a chance to advance. And most of all, go somewhere and get a good education because there is no $1 million contracts on the girl side. But again, that rewinds it way back to rankings. Again, some of these college coaches are lazy. So if they see, this kid's top 10, I got to give this kid this amount of money. Not saying that they can, when they go in, that they can perform with that type of money.
Yeah. Tanisha, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, I think we've got a difference in how we're really the evaluation systems for men's and women's. Number one, going to Kim's question about how can a kid be here and then they drop. I think for the girls, as they get older, I think because knowing the actual national evaluators that are doing this, consistency is a big conversation.
Oh, yeah. But I think it's hard because people have different eyes and they're judging it either on where they are now or they're judging it based on potential.
Kim, we've got 3 different ways that an evaluator or anybody can look at this thing. They can go off of current, how you are right now. They can go off of potential, and then they can go off of your body of work. Those are the 3 lenses that you can look from.
That you should look from.
That you should be able to do that.
Say that again, Tanisha, for the audience. Say that again.
For the audience, they're going to look at current. What are you doing right now for me, baby? They're going to look at your potential. I can predict she's going to be power 5, Or last but not least, your body of work. Putting it all together of a collection, whether that's your sophomore through senior year, even like with McDonald's. Are we looking at a whole body of work? People ask those type of questions. On the men's side, they tend to look at the potential. That is their strongest base of a lens, is the potential, the size, how tall are they, how big they're going to be, the actual positions. Those are the projections that they're looking at with a combination of how good they are right now. On the girls' side, it's how good we are with a sprinkle of potential, and then I don't think body of work is used anywhere near where it should be. Because there's some girls that have, if you take their entire high school career, it's solid. But because they are not performing as consistent their senior year, they get hit. Or their junior year, they get hit. And so that body of work, they're not really getting the points for it. We've got kids that are in EYBL right now that are balling out of control. They've got a stronger strength of schedule over an extended amount of time. They're playing prep school for their entire, winter season. And sometimes it's not evaluated the same way, or it's not valued the same. So, I mean, I think for the men's and women's, two separate sides. Women, consistency. Like by your junior, senior year, that I don't care if you have a 30-point game and then you drop down and have a 10-point game. That's a problem. That's a problem. Consistency in a lot of those performance skills. We got to see it. You can't show up half of the time.
So we got Gabe Johnson. He made a statement. He said, "Facts. I know a few kids by eyes should be ranked, but haven't had the right set of eyes on them to be ranked." KP, what eyes? Who are the eyes?
That's depends on. So that question is a loaded question. Like, so you're saying you have kids that haven't been seen. How do you know they haven't been seen? Number one,
they probably have been.
Number two, I just said earlier, if you feel like, hey, I've missed something, everybody else sends me a DM or something. Hey, come check this kid out. I think you might have missed something. But here's the problem. I don't get those type of DMs. The DMs I get is, oh, you're wrong. This kid is this, and this. It's an attack instead of like saying, hey, like instead of saying, hey, come check this kid out. I think she's pretty good. I respond a lot better than that than somebody telling me, oh, you're wrong. This kid should be top 30. She does this, and this. And then when I go see her, it's the total opposite. But they don't want to hear it. They do not want to hear it. And again, I don't go off of one game. I'll see the first game, and then I'll go see the second game.
KP, how do you respond to people who get disrespectful to you?
I don't.
Oh Lord.
I don't. Unless now when we get face to face, I let them know I'm a man. So don't play with me.
Stay face to face though. We ain't doing it over no text.
No text, because what becomes is if you do it over a text or something like that, they tend to get bold, and if I reply, they'll use that against me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no, I'm a man. I'm gonna tell you like a man to your face. So if you feel that way, let's have a real man's conversation. Now now I'm gonna say something that's gonna go viral.
Yeah, we don't need that.
We can handle it like some grown men, and we can handle it like some street shit.
Okay,
yeah.
Like, because if you're gonna get disrespectful, then I'm gonna defend myself.
There you have it. There you have it. So to Gabe and to everyone else who's want to know, where do I go? Where do I go? And I'm coming to you, Kim. I know you're on a hard stop because I know you got things you got to do if you have to jump off. But Show and Prove 2024 September. We got September. Is
21st. It's 22nd, 23rd. Yeah.
Right, 22nd, 23rd. Roundballacademy.com. Show and Prove. Tavares, Florida. If you're not there, how can we see you?
Well, the good thing is I like they come. I bring people in. I think, and you've got on me about it. We don't advertise it enough, but we've got people that will evaluate you. I bring in 6 evaluators.
Yeah.
Intentionally. I really don't think they get the respect that they deserve to come, because they'll rather go to someone else where it's just one set of eyes. At least I'm bringing 6 sets, I think for me, what I've done is like, okay, let's go play in front. I'll never tell the kid or the parent who that person is. We're going to go play in front of these people, and they're going to let me know if you think you all there, I try to get out in front of those types that in the past. It's easier for me now because of the position we're in. So that's a great question, and actually another podcast. Do I play for a certain team because they're gonna put you out there? And I tell people now, look, we are exposure, but it doesn't mean you won't get exposed. I'm gonna test your heart. I'm gonna make sure you want to play this game.
Right.
Because I know when you go to college, it's going to be 10 times worse. Right. And if you can't survive what we're throwing at you, then you're just a fake studio gangster rapper.
Whatever. And we going viral again.
You're a fake.
Yeah, but to Kim's point, I found kids at Show and Prove.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
Colin Harris is the first kid I saw
Yep.
at Show and Prove. The young kid last year,
AP.
I found those kids at Kim's event.
Anaya.
Yeah, Anaya. And listen, Kim doesn't pay me to come, and I don't ask her to pay me to come. She doesn't pay for nothing. I come on my own. But again, people don't realize that I do this out of my pocket sometimes. And I do it because of the relationship means more to me.
Right.
And I want y'all to always be able to say, nah, KP, show up.
He had my back.
He do.
And I think people chase certain things, like, and then what's too big? You know, you can't go to an 800 team tournament and you play for ABCD elite. Just because you got the word elite on your name. My top team named Purple. Because I hate the name Elite, Platinum, Showcase. Who you might be showcasing?
National.
Bullshit. You up here still shooting from your knees. You don't know how to triple threat. You don't went 0 for 30 for all 5 games. I'm sorry, 1 for 30 for all 5 games. But you talking about average 10 points because you went in there wild and the referee got upset. You got, was feeling sorry for you and you got to the line. So you hit 9 free throws.
Yeah, that part.
And the whole time, they parents and them, every time they do something good, they look over at us.
Every time.
And it don't be good though.
And it don't be
terrible.
good.
Terrible.
Every time they do something like a crossover and the girl's shoe came off, but you think you crossed over at half court, the girl at the top of the key. Somehow her shoe came off and fell. Woo! What you wooing for?
Yeah, what's that all about? But
we don't be moved. We do not be moved. I hope they know that.
Social media has taken over what all of this means.
Yeah.
So KP, you led into what I was about to talk about. So we were just at Southern Tune-Up in Atlanta. Okay, there, just scouting, evaluating some players. Today I get at least about 15 texts. All right, get about 15 texts. Are you gonna write about me? Are you like? And I don't even respond to kids like that. And so it's kind of like I go because I have them fill out a profile. I go and see listening offers that you have, no offers. And I think that their satisfaction comes from seeing their name on something. So if they can't get an offer, at least I get a write-up. So talk to the audience, the parents, as we get ready to move to this weekend and throughout the rest of the month. Like these articles, and even though I write them, like this is not the Holy Grail.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I'm dealing with that in my own house with my own 13-year-old.
Oh Lord.
He gonna tell me he want to go to the tournament for exposure.
That's what he said.
What exposure? What are you talking about?
No, KP said that.
That's what he told me. He said, I want to go to this tournament because I want the exposure. And I'm like, what exposure are you talking about? Well, you get this, and this. So that word exposure needs to be cut down to being exposed.
Yeah. Well, we use it too much. It's half our fault too.
I don't. If you look at my social media stuff, I don't do a lot of chirping about kids. So, all due respect to Prep Hoops and some of these other people who do write-ups, that's paying. They're paying to get those write-ups.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't knocking your hustle. You can do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. But if you want to know the truth, let's talk about it. Let's talk. Because as soon as I write you something up, you're going to put that all over social media, and then everybody else is going to want something too. Well, why you didn't write my stuff up? Why you didn't do this? Why you didn't do that? Now, I run probably the biggest middle school events in the country. And now I do make a first team, second team, third team, blah, blah, blah. For the worst ones are the 5th graders. Because their parents think all of them going to the WNBA. Yeah. Well, why you didn't mention my kid? Like, first of all, it's not only me. I got a team of people in here, looking at the kids and blah, blah, blah. But once my name or people who deal with ESPN names on it, it's like the Holy Grail. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know the answer to that. But I do know if I put something out, if y'all could see my DMs and text messages, and before I became this KP, I knew everybody. Everybody knew who I was, so they got my number.
Mhm.
You know, when
Oh,
McDonald's
so
come out
know.
and rankings come out, everybody just hit me. Why my kid? Why my kid? Why my kid?
Mhm.
I at least get 120 to 130 texts when the rankings come out. Because they feel like they know more than me. My answer to that is, do you see more kids than me? Are you in the gym for 12 to 15 hours a day like I am?
No, please.
Until you can say that, then my opinion is my opinion.
So Kim, as a coach, and Tanisha, I want to keep in mind, Tanisha, I want you to talk about what eyes like. I want you to talk about what should parents, be looking for, since this is such a demand. Who should they be looking for when they're in those gyms? Because that they're, regardless of our conversation, they're still going to go and try to be like, well, such and such is here. You need to make sure you're playing well today. But Kim, talk to coaches about the right mindset headed into this weekend and the rest of the month. And for parents, for parents and coaches and players, the right mindset to have.
I give from whenever they start playing in the program, you're gonna see the improvement in your child's game the following year, December, when they go back to their high schools or middle schools and the game is slowed down and they're playing so fundamental. And so every year we're looking for that improvement. And so I tell them, like, at the end of the day, I'm not here to help you get ranked. I'm not here. The scholarship part is the easy part. What we want to do is put you in a position where you play as a freshman. And that's our focus.
Yep.
When you're a freshman in college, how can we get you in a position to play as a freshman? And you get caught up in all the hoopla, the rankings and all of that. I know a lot of ranked kids. I know a lot of McDonald's All-Americans that did not play.
A lot of them, Kim.
Okay?
That part.
And I think, at the end of the day, what you can't, and I told one of my kids, I said, you have an opportunity to be the number 1 draft pick. She was in the 8th grade. And I told her right then, so we're not going to get caught up in rankings because it's going to go up and down. Okay. So don't get caught up in it, because when you become the number 1 draft pick, that is nobody's opinion. That is not subjective. That is complete fact, objective, Wikipedia. They're going to see your name. When they Wikipedia you, they're not going to see all the different rankings you got. Nope. They're going to see number 1 draft pick. And she kind of would fluctuate between 2 and 5, never number 1, 2 and 5. And I asked one time, just out of curiosity, they were the upstanding type, you got a, proper type of evaluator. Okay. And I asked them, why won't you rank her number 1? She's got the best potential in the entire class. She could do everything. And basically it came down to is she's not polished enough. It's true now. I got some refined thugs that I just try to help get better.
You got some.
Everybody don't understand that. Like, yeah, she's smiling and cheesing, but she might have a shank in her bag. You better sit down somewhere. So I'm trying to help our girls just understand what education brings about, right? But I just didn't think that was a good enough reason for them to use to not rank her, because she's not polished. Who polishing these kids? Not them. Like, so what does that mean? So if we're going to use that, that's why I would say, like, what are you using? So it just looked better because this girl knows how to talk a little better in the camera. This girl's social media is a little bit better. She, she doing such. But we don't know what your kid gonna do. I don't either. But I do know when she get on that court, what she gonna do.
Yeah.
I ain't got no clue what she gonna do. We still work. We're a work in progress. Okay?
She's working on it. She's working on it.
Mm-hmm. But I just think that wasn't fair. No. Period. I mean, I don't know how y'all feel about that. Like, but I said, but when you become but I knew that was going to happen to her. But when you play as a freshman, when you become a first round draft pick, who's going to take that away?
Nope, they can't.
Ain't nobody going to care, forgive me, what the hell ESPN had you ranked at. And if they had you ranked too goddamn low, they're gonna talk about them like a dog. So we don't care. Be the best you can be.
Yeah.
Period. And that's how I kind of get the parents to focus. Like, and and some of our lower major kids, our mid-major kids, I tell them right now we're really teaching you how to play the game of basketball. So your high school film is going to be better. So when we start sending that information out, and I talk to the KPs, the Dan Olsons, the Denishas, and they put your information like, hey, take a look at this clip. Tell me if it's any good. Tell me who I should send it to. Boom. I did that. One of my kids on the data transfer portal open, sent it to 5 schools. She got 3 offers right off that to come take a visit. So I do know that works. So we're working to constantly get better. I think when people get ranked kids, they forget how to coach them. They forget how to teach them. They forget how to bring them up. They just want to appease the parents. No, I need you to catch the goddamn ball and make this goddamn layup that you keep missing.
That part.
Period. I don't care where they rank you at. And so that's my focus that I would tell them is like, how are you going to get them better? Understanding the IQ.
All right. So there you have it, parents, coaches, players. A mindset that you need as we get ready to crank up this live period in the month of July. Tanisha, who are the eyes that they need to be seeing in the gym? I mean, because we got, just talking about here in the South, well, everybody's running up to the roses. We got stuff happening. Who is anybody they need to be looking at or talk to us about this situation? Who are the evaluator scouts that need to be in front of?
Oh, I mean, you're looking at one of them, KP, in that corner. You see him at your game. That's a good sign to see him. And you're gonna see him at a lot of them. That's a good question because calling out a lot of names. Listen, people that's in the know, they know who the evaluators are. They know who the scouts are. They know who we are. Honestly, more importantly than who they need to see, it's what do the evaluators need to see. Like, you need to be productive and impact. July is about being productive and impact the game. That's the first part. Like, are you getting rebounds? Are you getting deflections? Are you, getting assists? It's not just about scoring. Are you impacting the game? Are you being productive? Like, nobody's coming to a game to watch you pass around the arc.
Tanisha, let me ask you something why you said that, because in JP, you can kind of jump in here. What do you tell a kid, or what should you say and talk to the parents about the pressure that you put on a kid when they see the college coach area, field and scouts around on this, and they start saying, all right, here's your moment?
I mean, that's the part of the parent. They want the exposure. Now it's here. Your kid should be prepped for that. Not getting ready. You should have already been ready for that because that's what you've asked for. You want the eyes. You want the request. You think your kid is good enough. You think your team is good enough. Okay. Well, we'll see when the lights is on. A lot of college coaches will be in Louisville. They'll be there. So
will they be on your court?
Will they be on your court? And if they not on your court, from what I understand, because I've been to run for the roads for a lot of time, I'd be sitting on court 1 and looking at court 6 all the way across the gym. Just because I ain't sitting on your baseline does not mean, because I really don't want to walk over there. That's the truth. I can see it from straight sitting in this chair all the way to court 6. That's the truth.
Let me say something else that I think is not said enough. Like, your AU coach better get their ass on the phone and call people too.
Well, that part.
When does that happen? Like, if you got kids, call me and tell me I got kids. Come see me. Call them college coaches and say that. You know what a lot of these programs do? Hey, KP, can you send some coaches to my game? Like, aren't you getting paid to do this? Yeah. You're the club director.
The advocate. Why can't you get the advocate? You supposed to be the advocate. Why can't you?
But no, so not only do I do the rankings and I got to come see your kids, now you want me to do your job too. Now, do I mind sending coaches to the games? No, but at some point, develop your own relationships also. And I'm a big advocate of that. Hey, here's the coach. You call them. Well, I don't know if they're going to answer my phone. Then you keep calling them until you get to them.
Right.
And then some people tell me, well, why do you give people your connections? because it don't matter to me. They're gonna call me anyway.
Exactly.
Facts.
And then sometimes you could give them the plan, they ain't gonna follow it all the time.
They ain't gonna follow it.
Don't know
so
how
it
to
don't
read the
matter.
instructions.
So you got Essence, the program that can come into Georgia, come into Alabama, and get players, coaches get upset, whatever the situation may be, and not understanding that you were going to the tournament down the street in Montgomery or Birmingham when you got the Big Easy Hoop Fest up in Memphis. No coach is going to be at your event. A lot of them going to be here, but you get mad at your kid for going somewhere where it's going to benefit them. What do we say to parents who keep their kids in these type situations where, they say, well, I got to stay loyal because they've been helping me.
Don't call me when you need a scholarship.
Well, that part.
And guess who gets that call?
Mm-hmm.
I'm helping kids that don't even goddamn play for me.
That part.
I had to tell a parent one time, you have to wait till I finish with my kids.
Yeah.
And those are.
But Ken, let me ask you a question. They see what you bring, but they
don't want the discipline this early.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They still want their kids to call because I'm teaching independence, because I know when you go to college, you have to be independent. We get kids that don't even know how to wash their own clothes, how to wash their hair, how they don't know what allergies they have. They got to call their parents. What I'm allergic to again? Baby, you is 15 years old.
Right.
If you don't know, write that shit in your phone. Use that smartphone for something smart and put it in your notes and look at it when you ordering your food. Like it's independence. And parents want to feel needed and wanted. Get a dog.
Yep. Yeah. No.
And another issue is, like, I walk on the court and college coaches will get up and speak to me. Those parents watch that stuff.
Yes, they do.
They watch that stuff, and then they'll send me a message. Hey, you think you can hook me up with North Carolina?
No.
Absolutely not.
Because you is not even North Carolina A&T.
No.
You better go to JUCO.
You ain't North Carolina Community College.
Yeah, and that's what it is too. So when they see evaluators, and I know all these college coaches, I know them. Like I know them. So when I walk to the court, they better stand up and speak to me. Hell, they call my ass all the time.
Yeah.
So, but those parents, they see that and they be like, KP gonna be able to help me in the end.
Mm-mm.
And then, I don't get paid for helping them kids. I do it because I feel like it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do. Yes.
But then they get an attitude if you don't get them what they want.
Yeah. Or they want to dictate, well, here's my list of criteria. Baby, you don't have
here's my top 5 schools.
Yeah. I'm going to call this school and if they offer you a scholarship, you better take it. How about that?
Yeah, that part.
I like that part. And I think that's the hard part is if they're using all of us. And I'm okay to be used.
Okay.
I'm not okay with, and I know they get it from vast amount of people. I'm not being okay with you where you're giving me, well, coach, what if I got schools I like and I tell them, well, do they like you?
No.
Are they calling you?
They're not.
Are they even were they even sitting on your court?
Do they know your name?
We had played 19 games.
How about this? Do they know your AU team's coach or program director?
At least they would have called them by now.
Yeah. Or your AU coach, call somebody. You got to develop the relationships.
Right.
You have to.
You do. And I think a lot of times people see big programs like ours and they don't know that I'm like, hey, I got this kid. Just go take a look. Let me know what you think if you get a chance. But they think, well, if Kim could do it, that I could do it. I've been at it for 28 years. So my phone call is not as long, not as but they also know I'm not going to oversell. That's the issue.
Oh, Lord.
Call and coaches may not answer your call because you're overselling your kid. And I think that's where the dilemma comes in. They know if I'm going to say, I'm be like, no, she can't help you.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, or, and I'm going to tell them the truth.
Yeah, or she needs to go mid-major. She'll do better there.
Yeah.
Because it's your credibility.
I'm very big on my name and my credibility.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I take pride in that.
And you want to be that as an evaluator as well. You want, when colleges call you, they want to be able. Okay, so like for KP and I, it's about them checking their work. Did I get this right? Did I get it wrong? What do you think? Nobody calls you to say, what do I think about something? And then your evaluation or assessment is so out of pocket. You're not getting those calls. Now you're not even looking at as being a solid assessor. You know what I mean? That's not what you want. So you want to be very, very clear about what you see, so that those calls are worthwhile. That builds relationships. That builds trust in that college coach to say, even if it's a kid that, let's say I'm like, hey, there's a kid you need to see. I think she would be perfect for you. Versus on the other side where you get a call that says, hey, what do you think about this kid? She may play in California. I still got to be able to assess her regardless of where she is, regardless of what age, regardless of what team, regardless of what circuit. You still have to be able to, and you've got to know even the conferences of where these colleges are coming from. Some of these kids can't help them in certain college conferences. The SEC is totally different than the Big Ten. And you got your top 5 is all in the SEC.
Listen, I had a stand one time. They had an SEC, SWAC, MEAC, maybe Colonial, and let's say Southcon. And I said, let's play the Sesame Street game. Which one of these don't belong?
Kim, Kim.
She always going to give us something.
Kim, you about to get it.
Isn't that the Sesame Street game?
Kim.
Which one don't belong?
Kim. She can't help it. She can't help it. Every episode, we got to go through this. They're going to cancel us.
What am I saying wrong? KP, you know you agree with me 1,000%, don't you?
KP, don't you do it.
KP.
Listen. You see 3 MEAC schools and 1 Big Ten school. Come on now.
Which one don't belong?
But they don't even think that far, Kim. They don't even think that there's a difference with them conferences. At what point did you go from the MAC or the SWAC?
Well, let's get even better. Let's get even better. I tell a kid a school, and they be the first thing they coach or they parents say, is that Division I school?
Right.
All right, get off my line. Get off my line.
Oh, yeah. Where's that at? Where's that at?
So check this out. I know Kim has to run. I know she has to run. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it on tight schedule. Like we'll get back on this. Probably do this after the live period. Get back on and be able to share and talk about what we experienced and saw. Over this month. I know we got several questions in the chat. I do apologize that we can't get to everything, but hopefully we can take some of these questions.
A couple of minutes if you want to answer some of them.
Okay. She got a couple of minutes, so she, hey, look, she's our boss. Well, she's my boss. You know what I'm saying?
She's the boss.
We go with how she goes. So,
like
I said, she's the go. All right. So here we go. All right. So last one. What if the kid don't play AAU or EYBL? Do you automatically X that kid out because of playing multiple sports, or how do you all go by that? Anyone of y'all want to take a stab at that?
KP?
Where does the kid play? I mean, if the kid plays in high school and, they play a good schedule, I'll go see the kid.
Yeah.
I do that, but don't send me the backwoods of Virginia trying to find a kid that, ain't good enough.
Send me some film first. I can tell by
that. Send me a highlight tape that's no longer than 90 seconds.
Yes. You can
say it again.
Send me a highlight tape that's no longer than 90 seconds. And I don't want to hear Lil Baby in it. I don't want to see I don't want to see crossovers and that's it. I don't want to see you making a layup. I don't want to see you making
and don't see the finish.
KP, what about the circle around the player?
Oh my God.
It is stop it. We gotta wait for the circle to get undone.
That needs to be a podcast. What do you put in a highlight?
Not that. They got that big old circle around it, and then we got to wait till the circle come undone.
And let me say one more thing to it, like because I'll go look at your social media too.
Yeah,
Is your social media about you playing basketball, or is your social media about you being on the beach?
with the duck
the
lips.
lips.
Yeah.
What
again-
what
and
do
again,
you
I-
look for? You know, because with NIL, with a lot of things that happen, especially on the boys' side, with certain players getting certain places, and you know, behavior wise, what do coaches, what do scouts, evaluators look for beyond the court, i.e., on social media?
I don't look for none of them. I'm sorry, I can't answer this question. I could care less.
I'm gonna tell you, I look for intelligence. I look for professionalism, because if you're trying to get a job, you ain't gonna be on there, you know, twerking. How's that gonna help
depends
you
on
get
what
a job?
KP. It depends
Oh,
on
well,
what job.
See, I knew you go there.
See,
But-
Tanisha,
It
why?
depends on what job. Ain't that right,
Why?
Kim? It depends on what job.
Kim,
Yeah.
how are you on? How do you deal with your players outside of the court in regards to their presentation?
Yeah, we're snitches, and I tell them I'm a snitch. It's on my forehead. You can't beat me. We could try. We could set up a ring in the middle of the court. Let's see. I'm gonna tell you to take it off. I have a little 8th grader who thinks she's a little baby thug. Like, she really thinks she's a little thug. Like, she be ready. She be sitting up, set. Girl, if you don't sit down, I'll knock the hell out of you. And we had to tell her, baby, you got to stop being on social media waving the money that ain't yours.
Yeah, threatening people.
And act like you shooting with your hand.
Yeah.
So we lurk. Like, don't be acting like you smoking nothing. If you smoke, do that on your own.
Yeah.
Got to be everybody's business.
And some of them got burner accounts. I find them too.
Oh yeah. And then some of them, I'll look at their stories. I have coaches look at them. We all following them on everything, Snapchat, Twitter, everything. Some of them, they, and I don't want half naked pictures. I'm in my bathing suit. No, that's a string. It's a bathing suit, and then it's a string. Stay away from the strings and put on the bathing suit. Presentation is reality.
And what they don't realize is some people in this profession that don't need to be in this profession, because they're going to look at those. They're going to look at those. They love
looking at them strings.
Like don't ever follow me with none of that stuff, because I will never follow you and I will never look at you, because that's just not who I am.
We're not doing it.
I can't do that.
I don't want that in part of my life.
So we need to clean up some social media accounts before this weekend.
Oh yeah. Some of them definitely need to do. Yeah, they definitely need to do.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this. Like Nyla Parker last year, she had something AP the problem. Listen, that's all good, but how am I supposed to find you, Nyla Parker? Yeah. You know what? Her mama changed it within the next 5 minutes.
Say that again, KP, because they say it. Just say
like,
it.
I don't want to see a boogie, or because how is somebody supposed to find you? No,
you can't.
Your name is your brand.
Yes.
KP is a brand. People know KP as a brand. So if I'm KP getting all the chicks, then y'all gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Like, you're going into adulthood. People go back and look at all that stuff. When you're looking for a job, they go back on your social media and look at all that stuff. So carry yourself with professionalism. Carry yourself like this is what you want to do. Carry yourself like this is how I'm going to make my money.
That's right.
Because you are a brand. And that's what I preach to these kids and their parents. And some of their parents is just as wild on social media.
Oh, Lord.
Stop. You got to stop there. You cannot get into that today.
Oh, okay. I just was gonna say, you follow ugly kid home.
Who gonna open the door? A ugly parent.
Every time.
Another podcast.
Yeah.
So, Tanisha, where you gonna be this month? I mean, granted, first of all, is when you're in the grocery store, you shouldn't. Helping the old lady,
right?
Tearing your ACL, helping the old lady, maybe.
I'll be in Louisville.
Okay. with the what on your foot?
Possibly. Yep.
With a what on your foot?
You know.
What were you doing?
It might be. I might have
and sign off on it.
Okay, can we get some signatures on it? Yeah, I might have a. Let's see if I can. Grocery store accident. Aisle 9. Aisle 9.
Clean up on aisle 9. Tanisha, where will you be this month?
Louisville. I was supposed to go to Indiana, but I don't know if Bootsy coming with me. Nike Nationals, and then Nike Nationals. That's it.
KP, where will we find you?
Every damn where. I mean, from Louisville to Ohio to Indiana to Chicago, back to Louisville, back to Ohio, and I'm in South Carolina.
All right. South Carolina. That's right.
All right. Shameless plug. Here we go. Kim, why should someone attend Show Improve September 22nd, 23rd, Big House, Tavares, Florida? Why should they attend Show Improve?
Because I think it's a combination of no matter what, you're gonna walk out with nuggets. We do a lot of skill work, not just play games. So you're gonna get some serious skill work with some serious trainers that come in. You're gonna get a little bit of a taste of a strength and conditioning type, more speed and agility rather. And then we play games, and then we have a host, an array of evaluators that we publish and let people know that will be there, and they're gonna take them seriously and really look at their kids. So they look at the skill set, see if it translates to the game. If it doesn't, they're out there to talk to them to help them get better.
Right.
There you have it. That is why you should attend Show Improve 2024.
That's right.
And we thank you so much for this platform. We thank you for the opportunity. What do you want to say to coaches, players, parents as we head into the live period of the month of July?
Parents, clap more, cheer more, be a parent. Don't talk about basketball. Don't be about basketball. Just watch it and go into the rooms and go to sleep.
That's right.
Don't analyze it. Don't overthink it. You're not the coach. You're not in practices. You're not running up and down that court. Be more supportive. Be more loving, please.
There we have it. KP, anything you want to say to the coaches out there?
I'll see y'all soon.
Tanisha, anything you want to say to the players?
Let's have a good one.
There you have it. There you have it. Thank you so much for attending, drop in tonight on the RBA podcast. We had absolutely amazing guests talking about what's ahead of us in this July live period. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back. We're going to be talking even in the middle of the live period, dropping a couple of podcasts during the middle, and definitely at the end of it. We're going to come back and recap everything that we saw. You're going to see these faces again at the end of July. And then once again, don't forget, Show Improve. Go to roundballacademy.com. Get registered today. Right, not tomorrow, today. I know you're about to spend some money for the Odie's travel, but get registered today because it will sell out. And you're going to see all these faces there. All right. Love you all. Thank you so much for joining the RBA podcast, and we will see you next time on the RBA podcast. Peace.
Have a blessed night.
Bye now.